Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Andrew Can and together we can game. In the last episode of Can Play the Beginner's Guide, we learned a lot about life, ideas, and games and in art. In this episode we're going to continue moving forward. This game took 4 months to make. Wasn't as complex as other games, but it is complexing to our narrator. So we keep seeing the stage. This is actually a pretty well designed stage. And then there's ladders. It's in an opera house, and there's some lights with Fresnel like, ooh, striking. If you're in film, you don't understand that. All right, the performance is beginning. Places. Actual lights. I love how there's an actual shine to the floor. In this scene, you'll be playing as me. We are gathering professionals. First, you start leaning against this wall. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is your one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something to her. Wise, happy, focused, successful. 1. Hello. Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human being. Do it again. I like you. No. That's not what I said to her at all. You're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reversed, but I knew what I wanted was confident. For some reason, it was just that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need to feel the settings. There were a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them will represent the people nearby. Now talk to her again. I bet you learned to lean into the pain. What are some sacrifices you've had to make? You must have worked really hard to get where you are. You're messing it all up again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets that personal that quickly. Do you not realize how important it was for me? I'll never get an opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. And there's the light post again. Now this looks like an endless hallway. And now there's a... I thought we were done with the prison game, but now there's cages. Okay, yes, now this is working.
The game ends
this is
with
what
this
it was like.
premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Loading June 2010. And he is disconnecting from the world. This is the state of depression. Mobius Strip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Help, I'm blind. I can't see anything. What's going on? Why did my vision suddenly go back? There was a giant... Please, someone talk to me. So they were blind. SS Whisper. Going back to the Whisper. What's going on? Someone please talk to me. Someone help me. Someone do something. There's a door again. And is there actually
you
a
should probably
floor?
open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
The only way to stop it is to speak something. Be honest. I can't keep making these. My work is always fun. I'm bursting with creative energy. No, that isn't truthful. We're dead. It's gonna keep resetting. We have to be honest. And I believe this is an inner reflection of Coda. What is going on? Here's a lamppost, so it is. The only way to stop is speak something. I can't keep making these. Yes, that's it. That's the truth.
Like I said, I was getting concerned.
It's draining me.
First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas,
I thought it was going
he
to be
literally
easy.
just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a
I'm
person
alone.
will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
He
His games are
probably
going to
did.
get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Loading December 2010. Jesus Christ. What is this? That's a beautiful tree. And that... Where did this island come from? Hello? Where did the second island come from? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. Ellipses. What's wrong with you? You look lost. When I try to create, I feel empty. Being truthful, kind of continuing the process of the last game seems to be making. Oh no, what happened? Did something change? Trying to find the engine that used to protect me to start it again. There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. There's 2 paths here. Wait, you're looking for a machine? I think I know where that is. It isn't far. I need to see it to know why it stopped. Here we go. And I wonder if these choices, if you pick the wrong one or a different one, I can take you, but there's a problem.
If the last game
Scarred by a
featured
difficult
Coda
puzzle.
talking explicitly about his creative frustrations, this one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
He doesn't have it.
From my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
He didn't. So now we close the first door. Alright, what's next? Now, we press the switch. Made it to the other side.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers.
When I try
Then
to
there's
create, I
no
feel empty.
movement.
Where did
Then
this
there's
island
no
come from?
circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
These are just words on some wall. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that your work is fun and easy. You have to say that game development is simple and joyous and that you love it 100% of the time. Let's go back to effortlessly. Going effortless. Going back to that teacher-student idea. Alright, making game is effortless. Ah, that feels wonderful. Why do I feel so awful when I said that? Don't worry about it, just keep talking. Keep saying that creation is easy. It's easy and it never stops being easy. Don't worry about me, it's a place
Seeing
close
this game
to
at the
first
time
love.
that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
They're not.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
I don't even know this Coda, but I feel everything he's going through because my friends have gone through it, I've gone through it, he's battling depression. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices I made were... It always pays off eventually. These are all lies we tell ourselves when we have depression.
I don't know. This is what I felt at the time.
There's no
I
shame,
don't
no
know
fear,
how
no
else to
guilt.
explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Loading May 2011. I don't know what's coming, and the machine kind of answering the question previously we were looking for. Guard. Definitely the most simplistic. Wall there. See what happens. Ma'am, glad to see you arrived safely. We've captured the machine, it's waiting for you. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be brutal. Very good. Just be warned, someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing you should think about, it's the machine itself. It's called itself Coda. And Coda is the name of it, and here's the press. Look at the boom pole, different mics, actual photos, you see boom pole. Ma'am, give us answers. Ma'am, can you tell us? So I wonder if we're the woman who was crying in the previous game. Doesn't make sense. The machine is called Coda, which is the name of him. Or so we've been told.
And of course, it's the machine.
Is that the lamp? You've stopped. Your work was keeping us healthy. How could you possibly go back to trusting people? It was because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. That's a lot of pressure for anyone. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. These are all things people wish they can get from someone. No, nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. I have seen the thing you fear. Alright then, I will apologize to the people on your behalf. I wonder if this is symbolic for his brain not working anymore and his inability to be creative. And now he feels like he has to go to the public and explain it. My friends, I have a troubling revelation. The machine refuses to admit that it deliberately hurts us. This is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me, we will destroy the machine. Follow me, we will destroy everything that the machine has created. Interesting. Here's the stage again. And the lights are going to come on. We can see the barn doors. And the lights come on. The gun from the first game. So everything can be destroyed by this gun. And when you play all of his games together, there is a coherent narrative. At least that's what I'm understanding. Now when we run out of bullets, will it just stop? Is that what it's trying to tell me?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realized that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it?
Oh God,
if
I
he
don't
could
know.
see the difference it would make, to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I don't know, and I hope it does.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know, the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
There's Coda next to the light he made. Put down your weapon. Now we're
Can
destroying.
you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do?
Yep.
Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem.
But you can't fix it.
They told me how much they enjoyed his games.
Only
it
he
was
could.
The best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
But how did it make Coda feel? That is my question.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
June 2011. The Tower. The idea of the stage and the lighting like that.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world.
Well, that's what towers do. Towers isolate people from the outside world. Symbolic probably to how he felt. Especially if this is how he felt
This room actually has a maze in it.
Whoa.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Thank you. Also kind of cool to see what element he used here. So there's a wall over the bridge now. Bridge over troubled water in a way.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
I don't know.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
And even here, we're still requested to put it in ourselves, even though technically the narrator could do it. 15161. Didn't the last one take 5, 6, and 7 months to create, maybe? Now the stairs ascend like we're in some Harry Potter stuff. No, not. They don't really extend, but they connect. This is one of the first few things of connections we have. Let me know how these levels are making you feel, because I'm feeling kind of depressed.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress.
Damn.
And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
That's a reflection of probably how he felt.
I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
I'm sure that's how he feels. I feel that way.
I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
But also, even the narrator doing that then could be symbolic of someone who actually can help someone else open the door. A lot of times we're so trapped in our minds, we get a terrible tunnel vision where we can't see any good that we offer.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why.
I don't know why either.
I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is.
And that can be true to how people change.
It wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean.
I've seen that everywhere as well.
And he wouldn't.
And now we're just ascending this tower.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me.
I am Coda.
But he stopped and left. And it
I don't know.
felt somehow like I had failed.
He stopped and left, and somehow how he failed.
Where did I screw up?
You didn't. You got depressed, and there's nothing wrong with that. Dear Davy,
I am the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Davy's the reason you stopped making games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore. I think this hurts because I know what it's like to lose a friend. I think we all do. And we see, as the narrator sees Davy, Coda telling him to stop, and that he's the reason.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. And this is kind of Coda, I guess, explaining to Davy what he's feeling. You've infected my personal space that it's possible. I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games.
They treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? You can see the anger in his words. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them? Again, I don't know if I can trust Davy. Would you simply let them be what they are?
And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all.
When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. I do hope one day that it clicks to you and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
When you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work, is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work.
The walls
you
are closing.
Complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Holy shit. And then there's nothing, isn't there? Epilogue. I think that's going to be it for this episode. That's going to be it for today. Let me know what you think about Davey realizing that he's the reason Coda quit. Let me know if you've ever think you're that reason for other people. As the game said itself, when you think of the reason...
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more.
Never enough.
It's like a disease.
It is. And that's going to be it for this episode. That's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your time. And as always, I hope you have a great day.